sell it in America? What about in the USA? Let's see, what about in the world? Who sells more trucks and food? Nobody. It's because the Lamar team is a real team. All that makes it happen is one goal. Everybody having a great experience at Lamar Ford. We became number one for a reason, because we're good. And we need to prove it every day, every deal, all the time.
Tired of cleaning your gutters? Improve the value and look of your home with Leaf Guard gutters. And you'll never have to clean your gutters again. Ever. I guarantee it. Let Audubon Gutters install Leaf Guard gutters today. You'll improve the look and value of your home. And right now is the perfect time during Audubon Gutters' 99-cent installation sale. Call 469-6494 now. Get out of that gutter and get on the phone. At Audubon Gutters.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes on magazine, as unique as you.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralox, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralox technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralox is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Here we go again. Yeah, you right. Crescent City and beyond. What's up, New Orleans? What's up, River Parishes? What's up, yo? What's going on the North Shore, down into Parish, Chalmette, St. Bernard, where life is hard. West Main, Mid-City. We know it's New Orleans, Drew Brees, number 9. Thank you very much for that clarification. How about Baton Rouge? How about Lafayette, Cajun Country? Bayou Teche. Thanks for checking us out all over Southern Louisiana. Corey Johnson with you. Fantasy Friday edition of the program. 2 big hours, 4 to 6 o'clock every weekday. I like Fantasy Friday. We kind of chill a little bit. A little. You know, each and every week, Monday through Thursday, we hit it pretty hard. We take on all comers. We're not scared of any topics. Never worrying about being politically correct. Yesterday, we had Oliver Thomas on the program for a few minutes, around 5:35. You can check it out. Go to my Twitter, X, whatever. Elon Musk, the man with 14 children now. Oliver Thomas joined us yesterday on the program. He's going to meet with family next week, and by this time next week, we will all know if he's running for mayor, I think he is, or not. I don't know if he can beat Helena Moreno, though, and I'll make it real simple. The number one voting bloc in Orleans Parish, black females. Black females. They're going to come out in large numbers. They control the vote. They control politics if they come out and vote. They're going to come out and vote. And I think Helena Moreno, by default, being female, and the fact that she's Latina doesn't hurt. I think she's, by default, going to pull double-digit numbers of black female voters in Orleans Parish, and the campaign hasn't even begun. If she gains traction and Oliver Thomas just sort of does his thing, you could see a 25%, 30% female vote for Helena Moreno over Oliver Thomas. I'm talking black females. When 1 in 4 black males voted for Donald Trump nationally, when 1 in 4 black males
voted for Donald Trump nationally. You're telling me that Helena Moreno can't get 1 in 4, 1 in 3 black female voters in Orleans Parish voting for her? Now, I think the uphill battle is Oliver Thomas being mayor. I think the favorite right now is Helena Moreno. By demographics, by how folks think in 2025, and a little gravy, figuratively and literally, she's got about 5 times the war chest that Oliver Thomas has. Oliver Thomas has a little bit north of 200 grand. Helena Moreno's got a little bit north of $1 million. Anyway, Oliver Thomas joined us live on the program yesterday, about 23 hours ago or so, in the 5 o'clock hour. You can check it out at Corey Johnson on Twitter, or go to our YouTube channel, The Neutral Ground with Corey Johnson, and check it out. The Neutral Ground with Corey Johnson on YouTube. Click to subscribe to our YouTube channel. It doesn't cost anything. By this time next week, we will know if Oliver Thomas is in the race for mayor. Former Judge Arthur Hunter has entered the race, and this guy goes to trial next month, probably going to be found guilty of an array of things. I don't know if this is just some sort of deflection, like, man, if I'm running for mayor, you know I'm legitimate, I'm an honest person. I don't know what that's all about. But indicted former 911 director Tyrell Morris claims he's running for mayor. Arthur Hunter, the former judge, Tyrell Morris, Helena Moreno's in the race. She's the clear favorite. Oliver Thomas expected to jump in the race by next Wednesday or so, mid to late next week. That's what he told us yesterday on the program. Boy, 75 degrees outside right now on this Fantasy Friday. Get outside and enjoy that weather, New Orleans. 75 in early March. Just tough to beat. 500, 600, 700 miles north of us, the, snow plows are out. Your boy's got the snow blower going just to get his car out the driveway. 75 and nice. Tomorrow, we're expecting some rain to start the day, but then clearing up. And Sunday, 55 to 70. Nice. Monday through Wednesday of next week, 50s and 60s. The back end of next week, like Friday, Saturday, 60s and 70s. So some really nice weather. Let's hope this weather can hang on for another few weeks. A couple of months of this weather, just at least somewhere in this neighborhood, just getting marginally warmer over the next 6 to 8 weeks would be fantastic, because we got a full slate. We got French Quarter Fest. It would start 5 weeks from yesterday, 34 days away from French Quarter Fest. The weekend after that, the Thursday after that, Zurich Classic, the PGA Tour stop on the West Bank. A week after the Zurich Classic, weekend 1 of Jazz Fest. Obviously, the week after that, weekend 2 of Jazz Fest. That's all coming our way in the next 6 to 8 weeks. Really, 5 to 8 weeks. 5 weeks from yesterday, French Quarter Fest. No, let's hope this weather holds out. Speaking of those big events, this just makes sense. It's how normal people, how normal places do things. There's sort of this, hey, the Super Bowl's coming. Let's have this deadline, this punch list of items. Let's knock out these items, this punch list for the Super Bowl. Great idea. I'm not knocking it. But there needs to always be that sense of urgency, always a punch list. Go, go, go. Never stop. You never cross the goal line. It's a city. Lots of moving parts. It just go, 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 go. So if New Orleans has to do it in a way of physical deadlines like Super Bowl, Mardi Gras, the next would be French Quarter Fest, because you can't do much after that for a month, because you got French Quarter Fest, Zurich Classic, Jazz Fest, Jazz Fest. So that's a good one. Essence Fest might be the next July 4th weekend. Fall football season might be the next September 1st, whatever. Got to have these sense of urgency, lighting not a flame, an orange flame, like a blue flame under the rear end of the city of New Orleans to get things going. If we've got to put up this, deadline thing, so be it. I mean, every Thursday I have Bradley Schneller on. He owns Stacked Coaching, this gym I go to. I'm in a group with like a dozen, 15, 18 people every time we work out. We're all doing the same thing. Now, the group inspires someone like me. Call me simple, someone that needs motivation, can't do it by themselves, whatever. Positive, negative, I don't care what you think. I like the place. I like the group concept, and it motivates me. It gets me going. So whatever the excuse is, group concept, one-on-one training, anything that keeps me going, keeps me kind of eating right, that kind of stuff, I'll take it. If we can't do this regular maintenance stuff in the city like most municipalities do, and we need to set up these sort of Super Bowl deadline, Mardi Gras, French Quarter Fest, Essence, then so be it. I'll take it. Whatever motivates the city to keep fixing stuff and doing things right. Michael Hecht's going to join us in about 20 minutes from Greater New Orleans, Inc. He headed up the governor's Super Bowl effort to knock out the punch list of items. He'll join us to discuss that very thing, like what's the next punch list? How Mardi Gras went, the Plaquemine port container battle within the state for the next port. It's crazy. UNO. How do we boost UNO? Michael Hecht in about 20 minutes. Frank Brigsten talking crawfish and more in an hour. Yeah, you're right. 5 o'clock powwow with Frank Brigsten from his restaurant. Coming up next, another edition of Fridays with Fletch. Fletcher Mackel's going to join us from WDSU Sports. We broadcast every day on radio, television, on YouTube, The Nutri-Round with Corey Johnson. Click to subscribe to our YouTube channel. We do it from the Buddy Deliberto Total Maintenance Studios. If you need air conditioning or heat help, Total Maintenance is there. Fair and honest, Lucas and the boys, air conditioning and heating experts. I'm running my AC right now. It got up to like 77 in my house. And they come immediately. In New Orleans, in Baton Rouge, think Total Maintenance. tm-ac.com.
Total maintenance, keep you cool. TM-AC.com, your cool spots. TM-AC.com, your cool spots.
Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
Want to stay somewhere special when visiting New Orleans? Look no further than the Grand Victorian. Located in the Garden District on the St. Charles Avenue streetcar line, the Grand Victorian is ideally placed for visiting the city's local attractions, fabulous restaurants, shops, and more. Make your stay in New Orleans something to remember. To find out more about the Grand Victorian or to book, go to gvbb.com. The Grand Victorian.
Young's Dry Cleaning has free pickup and delivery. That's right. Young's Dry Cleaning has absolutely free pickup and delivery. Home or office, East Bank or West Bank. Call Young's at 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
Tired of cleaning your gutters? Improve the value and look of your home with Leaf Guard gutters. And you'll never have to clean your gutters again, ever. I guarantee it. Let Audubon Gutters install Leaf Guard gutters today. You'll improve the look and value of your home. And right now is the perfect time during Audubon Gutters' 99-cent installation sale. Call 469-6494 now. Get out of that gutter and get on the phone. At Audubon Gutters.
Some people think paint is paint. Well, it ain't. Paint ain't paint. At Elm Paint, we only sell Benjamin Moore because it's the best paint on the planet. In the end, you'll save time, effort, and money because Benjamin Moore paints cover beautifully in less coats. So the next time you pick up a brush, remember, big box, big mistake. Because paint ain't paint. To get the best, you gotta go to Helm. Let us steer you right.
Helm Paint.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, with 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com.
Francesca Deli and Pizzeria has over 15 specialty sandwiches, a big 10-ounce burger, and some of the best pizza in New Orleans. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview between Canal Boulevard and West End.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes on magazine, as unique as you.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
Come experience the best smoothies in the metro area at Smoothie King. Jay and his father have been Smoothie King franchisees for decades. On Jefferson Highway, across from Oxnard. On Airline Highway at LeBar by Causeway. Smoothie King.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralox, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralox technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralox is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Oh, you got bailed out this year. Thank you, Jefferson Parish, for canceling Mardi Gras. I think Fletcher Mack was going to post that on social media. He didn't have to cover the pathetic Jefferson Parish Mardi Gras. He got to go to New Orleans instead. Fridays with Fletch. What's up, Fletch? You got saved. The cancellation of Jefferson Parish Mardi Gras. You didn't have to cover that debacle.
I do like the people that run Argus. I think they're very good people. And yes, I have covered Jefferson Parish Mardi Gras like the last 6 years is part of our coverage at WDSU. But let me say this. I was actually not going to Jefferson Parish anyway this year. We shuffled the deck a little bit. I was taking Margaret Orr's spot at Harmony Circle. Margaret, obviously, the legend at our place for 45 years. She did decades of coverage in her pink cotton candy wig at Harmony Circle for again, decades. So I was replacing the legend at Harmony Circle. But nonetheless, yes, it was, I'm not quite sure about that decision to rein out JP Mardi Gras, but who am I to question I'll say this. I give Cynthia Lee Sheng a lot of credit. She owned it. She explained it. I don't necessarily agree with their decision, but I appreciate her explanation and for her owning it. But no, I spent the day, it was unique. I was at Harmony Circle for Zulu, and right when Zulu finished, we went to St. Charles and Calliope when the police moved the barricades and changed the route and Rex ends at St. Charles and Calliope. It was one of the most unique Mardi Gras ever.
Yeah, so you went just about like a block down the street from Zulu to Rex.
Yeah, and just think about that. Like, right when Zulu ends, they had a dozen police officers and sheriff's deputies changing the barricades right at the interstate at Calliope and St. Charles, putting new barricades up, moving the crowd because Rex is going to turn at St. Charles on the Calliope. So, again, it was it was a unique experience, but I was back in New Orleans, even though Metairie Mardi Gras was postponed.
My people are cueing me right now, Fletch. This is where I'm supposed to say, I was joking about Jefferson Mardi Gras sucks, but I wasn't joking.
I mean, look, here's the thing. I'm not going to be that harsh. Look, I grew up in New Orleans. I'm a New Orleans person. I will say this. I rode in Mad Hatters a few years ago. Joey and Gwen that run it, Joey and Gwen that own Louisiana Dental do an amazing job. It's really become like a super crew of Jefferson Parish. It was one of the greatest experiences I've ever had. They really have turned Mad Hatters into a super crew. It's unbelievable. And I like the Shahardis, and it's just different. It's all kids. It's all families. It's people that don't want to come to New Orleans. And look, to each their own. Again, who am I to dump on what makes people happy?
I'm one to dump on what makes people happy.
Okay, well, you can do it, but I won't.
I'm just kidding. Oh, boy. I'm glad that you have to have Jefferson, Mardi Gras, West Bank, Biloxi, Baton Rouge, all that, Mobile. New Orleans is pretty full, and it's not like Jefferson Parish has like an empty Mardi Gras. They're pretty packed, too, so we need all these other Mardi Gras. I think I dug myself out of that pretty well, Fletch.
I think you did.
All right, yeah. I'm going to dive in another one and maybe save you. Harmony Circle. That's so bad. That's so awful. I don't know who came up with that. It's a terrible name. One thing that folks didn't realize, it's Tivoli Circle, Tivoli, Tivoli Circle. And it never legally changed to Lee Circle. They just put a statue up at Tivoli Circle of Robert E. Lee like in the 1880s. And then people just referred to it as Lee Circle. But it's legally Tivoli Circle. So if you don't want to use that lame Harmony Circle crap, you can go with Tivoli Circle.
Sure. And again, I know there's names. I did a commentary a few years ago saying, like, maybe they should name it Drew Brees Circle. And I know that that's a little bit far-fetched, too. But look, if they got a Rocky statue in Philadelphia, like, maybe we could have a Drew Brees statue. Or I just feel like there's somebody we can celebrate. Aaliyah Chase Circle. Like, there's someone we can celebrate by putting up a monument to, their greatness in this city, be it a Dr. John Circle, or I know we named Alan Toussaint the street, which I'm all for that. Like, yep. I love Alan Toussaint. Yep. I love that. I live right here on Bayou St. John by Norman Francis now. There's no reason to call it Jeff Davis anymore.
No.
Jeff Davis has no connection to New Orleans, never did. Those streets were changed for, reasons that we don't have to get into, and they were changed back for the right reasons, or changed again for the right reasons. So again, I just feel like that area should, Harmony Circle is fine. Again, it's just blah. I do think there's probably someone in our 300-year history that we can agree upon and celebrate with a monument there.
I like Doc Francis. I just call it Doc Francis for the old, Jeff Davis.
I live right on the bayou, so I live on Norman Francis for all time, right off of it. And so, and like I said, in Alan Toussaint, great. Like, we didn't need Robert E. Lee,
No, exactly.
But I do think, I agree with you. I do think that, like, Harmony Circle is like, okay, couldn't we find someone in our city's history that's done something amazing and have, a celebration of that person. Plus
you got Harmony Street a mile down the street. Just, anyway. Hey, Fletch, what's the big, I got a couple of stories I'm going to talk to you about real quick in sports. What would you start things off with today if we were talking? Just the Saints filling out their staff?
Yeah, Saints filling out their staff. The big talker, Pelicans, what are they going to do this offseason? Is Willie Green going to get fired? What are they going to do going forward? So the Pelicans, who's in, who's out? And then this is my big talker right now, is what's going to happen with Derek Carr? There's a lot of reports that the Saints are just going to restructure him. He's definitely going to be the quarterback this season. But here's the thing. He hasn't said a word. He was MIA for the Super Bowl. Yep. He hasn't been seen or heard from since the season ended. No social media posts about Kellen Moore. He wasn't at anything Super Bowl related, and the Saints still haven't restructured his deal. So until it's done, I still think that is the burning question: is what is happening with Derek Carr? And of course,
the coach said, commits to Kamara, not so much to Carr. Loomis kind of cleans it up. What Kellen Moore said a few weeks later is like, no, Carr's our quarterback, which is meaningless. He could not be tomorrow, and no one would look at Loomis and say he was lying. So, Zion Williamson, he's in. Derek Carr still a question mark, right?
Let me say this. Derek Carr is a question mark until, look, if they restructure his contract today, tomorrow, Sunday, he's here this season, no matter what. Now, they can still draft a quarterback and put him in the competition with a rookie, or make a rookie, give the rookie the chance if they stumble out the gate.
Yep.
But once they restructure his contract, he's here. Zion is unbelievable right now. Amazing shape, amazing player. This offseason, I'm curious to see what happens. If a team comes in, look, the Pelicans aren't going to actively shop Zion. But if a team comes in and says, you know what, we're ready to buy high. We believe he's matured and he's figured it out.
Right.
And we've got a mega offer for you. Then we could see something get done.
We've got about a minute left. I guess it was DeMarcus Cousins, the former Pelican, who's like a Charles Barkley Jr. on ESPN, sort of. He was talking about Cooper Flagg, the Duke freshman that's going to be the #1 pick. Go back to Duke. You'll get lost in the sauce of the Saints. Basically, he was saying the Pelicans are always going to be second fiddle to the Saints in New Orleans, that it's not a great NBA city. Second to the Saints. What do you say to that? And did you see that? Do I have the people correct on that? It's DeMarcus Cousins.
Yes. No, that's what he said. Again, look, it's foolishness. It's a disgruntled former guy. Again, look, Saints are king of kings here, but not because this can't be a basketball city, because the basketball team has never had any sustained or championship success here. So, again, the same thing happened with Zion. There were people saying he may go back to Duke. He may not want to come to New Orleans. And guess what? He was in New Orleans. I don't know if the Pelicans are winning the lottery, but if they do, they're taking Cooper Flagg, and he's coming to New Orleans. And a lot of that is just look at the history of some of these players. And I liked DeMarcus Cousins when he was here. I was all for the trade. But then he got hurt. Then it went sideways. His career fell apart. And he's a disgruntled guy at this point.
This Doncic trade is like the craziest trade maybe in NBA history, at least most unexpected. Mark Cuban still owns 28% of the Mavs, but has nothing to do with the operations of the team. He was just talking as, Mark Cuban and 28% owner, not as part of the brain trust. He said that he expected a lot more like a Durant trade. These players were fine, but not one #1 draft pick, like 3 or 4 #1 draft picks.
It's going to go down. Look, the Dallas Mavericks general manager's name is Nico Harrison. He was a longtime Nike executive. If he's not fired at the end of the season, it will be criminal. He has single-handedly destroyed a franchise overnight. I mean, trading Luka Doncic is insane. Getting what you got back is insane. Kyrie is hurt because of this, because you put so much tread on him.
Yep.
Anthony Davis needs a major surgery. Truly, we have seen in less than a year an elite franchise become a poverty franchise that is now going the wrong way off the side of a cliff in total free fall.
Fletch, always a pleasure. Thanks so much.
All right, Corey.
That's Fletcher Mackel, WDSU Channel 6 Sports, joining us on the program. Corey Johnson with you. A Fantasy Friday edition of the program. When we come back, Michael Hecht joins us from Greater New Orleans, Inc.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, with 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Want to stay somewhere special when visiting New Orleans? Look no further than the Grand Victorian. Located in the Garden District on the St. Charles Avenue streetcar line, the Grand Victorian is ideally placed for visiting the city's local attractions, fabulous restaurants, shops, and more. Make your stay in New Orleans something to remember. To find out more about the Grand Victorian or to book, go to gvbb.com. The Grand Victorian.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day, by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, in this Lamarck Automotive Complex is something called Quick Lane. Tires, wheel alignments, struts, servicing your transmission. We're doing all makes and models. It doesn't have to have been purchased from us. It's for you. It handles your lifestyle with your budget in mind. And we want to get you in and out as quick as possible. Quick Lane, you got to come see it. You're going to love the experience right there at Williams Boulevard in Kenner.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day, by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com. Outdoor dining, Middle Eastern cuisine, under the oak trees, Lebanon's Cafe, some of the city's finest lamb chops and shish kebab, Carrollton at Jeanette by the streetcar barn, Lebanon's Cafe.
Tired of cleaning your gutters? Improve the value and look of your home with Leaf Guard gutters. And you'll never have to clean your gutters again, ever. I guarantee it. Let Audubon Gutters install Leaf Guard gutters today. You'll improve the look and value of your home. And right now is the perfect time during Audubon Gutters' 99-cent installation sale. Call 469-6494 now. Get out of that gutter and get on the phone. At Audubon Gutters.
Does Helm Paint have the best paint on the planet? Helm, yeah. We only sell Benjamin Moore, the world's finest paint. Because paint ain't paint. Let us steer you right. Helm Paint.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes are magazine, as unique as you.
Yeah, you right, Crescent City and beyond. Corey Johnson back at you. Fantasy Friday edition of the program. The weekend's here. Boy, we needed it. It wasn't like last weekend was Mardi Gras and Tuesday of this week was Mardi Gras. A quick week for many. Some didn't even get back to work. Michael Hecht joins us from Greater New Orleans, Inc. Happy post-Mardi Gras, Miguel.
Thank you, KJ. You see that picture? I don't know if it was in the paper or something about that restaurant worker with his head in his hands. It's going, made it through Taylor Swift, made it through Super Bowl, made it through Mardi Gras. What next?
French Quarter Fest, Zurich Classic, Jazz Fest, weekends 1 and 2. Bayou Boogaloo, Greek Fest, Essence. I don't know. That's about all that's next.
Bada bing, bada boom.
Hey, speaking of, I know you talked about it. I forgot what public official, what politician embraced the idea. It's just being normal. It's staying on top of things, maintaining. We needed this punch list, Michael, this
Super Bowl deadline to get a bunch of projects done to come up with the punch list of 550 items. The governor needed to put you in charge of it outside of your regular gig at Greater New Orleans Inc. and get a bunch of volunteers to participate and come up with this punch list. And now the concept is we got to keep coming up with some kind of date or deadline and come up with new punch lists that may not be as deep or as costly, but are legitimate and improve everybody's life, and stay on this, because that's what normal cities and states, municipalities, whatever, they do. They stay on this. We sort of do it and forget about it. Is that accurate? Is that the mindset? And are we going to have like new deadlines, like 34 days till French Quarter Fest?
Yeah, no, that's definitely the idea. The good news is that I don't want to speak for them, but I think I can. That has the support of Gilbert Montano and Joe Threat at the city, who are really the one and two people in charge of this. It has the support of the GNO Inc. board unanimously. And so it's our intention to keep this rhythm going throughout the remainder of this administration. And then our intention is to keep it going in some type of arrangement for the next administration, because it just works. And, you know, even if and when a city has a highly functional internal process for this, what we've learned, I think, Corey, is that it's helpful to have a third party, a kind of neutral third party who is involved in an expediting role, because I don't know, it just hits different. You're not as constrained organizationally or politically. It's an extra set of hands and eyes. It kind of turbocharges the effort. So yeah, we love the results we saw. People are still talking about it admiringly, and yeah, it's our intention to keep it up.
What is the next deadline? It seems like, you can't have every major event be a deadline, because like French Quarter Fest is in 34 days. Then a week later, Zurich Classic. Then a week after that's Jazz Fest Weekend 1. A week after that's Jazz Fest Weekend 2. So that French Quarter Fest in 34 days, that would be a deadline, because you can't do a lot of infrastructure work and stuff the 3 weeks after that, because they're major events every weekend.
Yeah, I mean, I think, one is that these deadlines are, they're internally imposed. So you just want to kind of get the right rhythm. I think Jazz Fest is the next kind of formal one. But when you look at, for example, French Quarter Fest, the good news is that we've already done most of the work. A couple of the things that didn't get done in time for Super Bowl, like the street signs being put up and the last block of Iberville being done, are being completed. So the French Quarter, continuing to benefit from IV4 sanitation services, should be in great shape for French Quarter Fest. It should look better and smell better than it has in a long time. So I think it's just kind of a common sense thing. We're doing this kind of just to give ourselves something to shoot for. So no, it doesn't have to be rigid or pedantic. It's whatever makes sense. I've been saying Jazz Fest and then Essence just because I don't know, it hits me right in the gut, but it could be something else.
Michael Hecht is with us from Greater New Orleans Inc. Hey, the Super Bowl was a Grand Slam home run. I'm imagining that Tuesdays kind of rain out in some ways, a lesser Mardi Gras day than usual. I was down in the Quarter. It was about a third of the usual crowd. I'm assuming there wasn't that much of an economic impact, Michael, in the sense like, we mentioned like the Super Bowl in New Orleans. You got 30,000 hotel rooms within walking distance of the Dome. Las Vegas has 150,000. You don't need 150,000. It's sort of the reversal of that concept. So what was Tuesday any kind of a downer? I'm thinking because people were already here, reservations were already booked in hotels, music clubs.
Yeah. No, I don't think it really, to me, and in all fairness, I was out of town for that last part of Mardi Gras. The wife put me on a mandated ski trip after the Super Bowl. But I monitored it closely and talked to people, and people had a great Mardi Gras, and they took it in stride. And most importantly, it was a safe Mardi Gras. And
to me, the festivity is kind of I take it for granted. It's a question of whether people are going to have a safe time, whether it's going to run smoothly. And given the challenges with the weather, it feels like we did. And plus, we had the hilarious quote from the police chief telling everybody to make sure they pee before the parade. So that was, and I was very proud that I made my first Mardi Gras in the form of a float about Plaza Tower in chaos. And so that, that made me proud.
Wow, it wasn't the pothole at Claiborne and Poydras?
That one, well, that has not happened. Although I can tell you something that I got my headstone arrived. I haven't opened it yet, but I got this headstone that says, "Here lies Michael's personal pothole, 2005 to 2024, gone but not forgotten." And so we got to install that so we can be there memorializing it.
Well, that's not totally forgotten. In typical New Orleans fashion, some water's squirting up from your pothole.
I know. There's another leak they're getting on that. In fact, I got a panicked message from a friend at Serrano Operations. He said, "I know people are going to tell us about it, but we know there's a leak. We're getting on it." So
you could get a big chunk of that concrete and have it at your house. And when people say, "What is that?" You say, "It's from my pothole," and they're like, "I don't get it. A pothole's a hole. How do you have a piece?" Like, well, they fixed it, and a month later it broke again. So this is a piece from the repair. All right, we're making progress.
It's true.
Making progress on your pothole. Michael Hecht's with us from Greater New Orleans saying, "All right, Miguel, this is just frustrating to me." And you wonder why Mobile handles more containers than New Orleans. Plaquemine Parish, after the Port of New Orleans acquires land in Violet, gets $1.1 million, $800 million from shipping companies, $300 million from the feds in the form of a grant. They're ready to go. I mean, some opposition from some in St. Bernard. I don't know if it's the majority. It's the squeaky wheels. You're getting a elevated road from Violet to I-510, another way out for hurricanes. The truckers are going to pay for it. I could go on and on. Plaquemine comes up with the alternative at West Point of La Hache, about 35 miles south down the river. They don't have rail connection, and they don't have their you-know-what together. I think that's the only saving grace on this, but so frustrating that it's pseudo-legitimate and being pushed to the governor.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't. That article was unfortunate. The idea is unfortunate, but I wouldn't make too much of it. There are a lot of reasons why it's not plausible. Most of all, that there's no rail connection. It's outside of the flood protection, et cetera, et cetera. But, until things are truly set with the new port, including, dirt turned on the road, there are going to be forces that try to complicate this. And, let's be honest about what really is happening here is AP Mueller runs Mobile. Well, guess who is the proposed, quote, partner of the situation in Plaquemine? It's APM.
Yep.
They understand this. They're playing checkers. It's not chess. But they know that if they can, any time that they can cause chaos and cause us to go a little bit slower, that gives Mobile a chance to get a little further ahead. And unfortunately, I think that's basically what's going on. Kind of a spy versus spy situation.
I think the port sold this wrong to St. Bernard. They put the cart in front of the horse. They should have sold them the roadway. And by the way, we're going to have a port container terminal at the foot of the roadway. But we're building that would have been the concept. We're building a hurricane evacuation route for St. Bernard residents connecting Violet to the I-510. And by the way, we're going to have a port facility at the bottom of it.
Well, that's like the parking spot for sale out by the fairgrounds for $350,000, house included.
Yeah, exactly. No doubt. Yeah, the old Super Bowl tickets. No, I'm buying the pen. It's a $4,000 Bic pen. Michael Hecht's with us from Greater New Orleans. Michael, we're going to take a quick break. Come back. I want to ask you about $2 billion in street work that the city's trying to knock out quickly. I think they hired a Boston company to come in. And how about splitting Mardi Gras into 2 weekends? Think about that. And lastly, Michael, UNO. Got to do something to supercharge UNO. Michael Hecht's with us from Greater New Orleans, Inc. Corey Johnson with you on a Fantasy Friday edition of the program. Yeah, you right. Hey, are you on the Causeway? Heading to the North Shore? Fire in a to-go order right now at Trey Inn. They don't open their doors for another 10 minutes, but they'll take your order, and you can pick it up a little after 5 right in front. They'll walk it right out to your car. Literally, curbside delivery. Trey Inn. It's not Chinese food. It's Chinese cuisine at the foot of the Causeway, just 25 minutes from Lakeside Mall. Tonight for dinner, make it Trey Inn.
The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center. It's open now. We fix cars and trucks. We do all makes and models. And it doesn't have to be a Ford or a Lincoln. It could be whatever you're driving. 32,000 square feet under roof. Now open at 3101 Williams Boulevard. It's all about you, the customer, getting the most for your dollar. I would say the most perfect collision center anywhere. The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, 3101 Williams Boulevard. Go check it out.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day, by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
Young's Dry Cleaning, with 2 walk-up locations with personal service. Young's on Claiborne and Young's on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview. Young's Dry Cleaning. Call 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes, a magazine as unique as you.
Trey Inn in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Inn.
Want to stay somewhere special when visiting New Orleans? Look no further than the Grand Victorian. Located in the Garden District on the St. Charles Avenue streetcar line, the Grand Victorian is ideally placed for visiting the city's local attractions, fabulous restaurants, shops, and more. Make your stay in New Orleans something to remember. To find out more about the Grand Victorian or to book, go to gvbb.com. The Grand Victorian.
Some people think paint is paint. Well, it ain't. Paint ain't paint. At Helm Paint, we only sell Benjamin Moore because it's the best paint on the planet. In the end, you'll save time, effort, and money because Benjamin Moore paints cover beautifully in less coats. So the next time you pick up a brush, remember, big box, big mistake. Because paint ain't paint. To get the best, you gotta go to Helm. Let us steer you right.
Helm Paint. Paint supply.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
Yeah, you right. Hey, you looking to check out the Pels? any sports action, anything on the flat screen TV. It'll be on at Tracy's, Magazine at Pleasant, between Washington and Louisiana. Caddy corner from the Bromart on Magazine. Legendary Tracy's, new location, bigger and better than ever. Yeah, they still got one of the best roast beef po' boys anywhere. The 120-inch, that's 10 feet, 120-inch monster flat screen. Tracy's in the Garden District. Michael Hecht's with us from Greater New Orleans, Inc. Hey, Michael, $2 billion in street work getting done ASAP. I think the city, I got to credit the mayor and the council, I guess, whoever came up with this. They're hiring some Boston company, I believe. I think it's out of Boston that kind of organizes and does this stuff for a living to get this street stuff done before we blow the free money from the feds, FEMA, whatever.
It should have been done a long time ago, but, I'm glad that they're doing it now. It's the right approach. I mean, I remember when LaToya, I think it was at like a United Nations conference or something, was bragging about how Mitch Landrieu had only spent 1% of the money and she'd be able to spend 15% of the money. And so, I'm glad they're doing this now. And I guess the use of the money is just going to be some kind of like exponential curve. So that's fine.
Yeah.
Glad they're doing it.
It's crazy right now, the street construction. I'm assuming it's only going to get crazier, but hopefully this company figures out a way to do it right. Nagin got into that too late thing, didn't have it planned out. And I remember Jefferson Avenue, Jefferson, Napoleon in Louisiana, and Britannia, all done simultaneously when they were supposed to be done one at a time. It just, I had some friends in Uptown. They said they'd literally park 3 blocks from their house, walking home with groceries, 3 blocks,
Yeah.
Crazy.
Shouldn't be this hard. Every day the sun comes up and people do the same type of work all over the world.
Yep.
But, so we'll rely on the Boston Beantown Company to make it better for us.
Yep. Michael, I'm the guy that's like, let's reimagine Bourbon Street. I've got lots of great ideas for our city. Here's one. And I think some folks have been talking about it this year, so maybe it's catching on. And it's not my green Mardi Gras. That's already catching momentum. I'm very happy about that. Hopefully no plastic, nothing from China in a few years. But how about this, Michael? Another great Corey Johnson idea. Split Mardi Gras into 2 weekends. Make that first weekend like Thursday through Sunday, and the second one what it is, Friday through Tuesday, Mardi Gras Day. You double dip on the hotels. The Mardi Gras split into 2 weekends like Jazz Fest. No one's gonna come here and go, I went to Mardi Gras in New Orleans, and another person's going to go, was it Fat Tuesday? And they're going to say, no, the weekend before. Oh, that wasn't the real Mardi Gras. It's you add some parades, you add some festivities, make that a 4-day thing coupled with the second weekend, essentially split Mardi Gras into 2 weekends, double dip, double the economic impact. What do you think?
Yeah, I think that's kind of interesting. And because, it really is already on 2 weekends, right? So it would just be kind of pushing the parades, some of the midweek parades a little bit earlier, right?
Yep.
You're just kind of like lifting and separating like a good sports bra, right?
Yeah, and bring in some concerts at the arena, the Dome at night or something, late night. I don't know what to do to make it equal to the second weekend, the real weekend, but I think if we could split them like Jazz Fest, you're talking about increasing the economic impact by a pretty large percentage, I would imagine.
Yeah, no, I think that's kind of interesting, and it jives with something I've been talking to Walt Leger about over at New Orleans and Company, which is focusing more on destination, on event tourism. So people who come here, like for Taylor Swift or the Super Bowl, where they come in for 3 days, 4 days, 5 days around an event, and then you get a much bigger economic impact. And so, that would actually fall into that way of thinking.
Do not call it deep gras, all right? Just agree to not call it deep gras.
Deep gras?
Deep. You haven't heard of this deep gras? That's what I guess the kids are calling the the build up to Mardi Gras, like the weekend before, the week leading up, where there's a parade every night. We're in deep gras now, dude. Whatever.
Yeah, I don't know. That makes me uncomfortable.
Yeah, exactly. Makes me a little squeamish. I hear you. Hey, Michael, we'll end it on this. What do we do with UNO? How do we make UNO a world-class university? UNO's talking about going back to the LSU system because the ULL system isn't doing them right. The LSU system wasn't doing them right before. There's always the Baton Rouge or Lafayette school that wants to hold down the New Orleans school. UNO needs some autonomy. UNO needs some help from the city. I don't know, maybe the NOLA coalition. UNO should hire the number 2 person from like Central or South Florida, where they have 70,000 students at those urban universities.
Yeah, I mean they've got a business model problem now. There's too much overhead, right? Because you've got this massive campus, all this faculty, and then you have a student body. So the revenue side, which is a fraction, maybe a third of what it used to be. So it almost needs, if it were a business, you'd say the fundamental product is still really good. The business just has a messed up P&L and balance sheet. And you would just declare bankruptcy to reorganize it so you could survive again. So I don't know exactly what it's going to look like, but at the most basic level, the school has to reduce some of its overhead because it's costing too much to run right now. And then it's got to start effectively marketing again what it is, which is a high quality urban research university. I mean, it's one of the best schools in the country in terms of value per dollar and economic mobility. It's got to start selling that. It's exactly what kids are looking for now, or young people are looking for, is the value. So I think that it just needs a breathing. And all the discussions about coming back to LSU, that's about reducing overhead. That's about finding ways to remove some of the costs that they don't have to the LSU system, which I guess they can't do with the UL system. So I'm concerned about UNO. I'm not fundamentally worried. I think, we're going to figure it out. It's not going to go by the wayside. If you do it right, I think even better.
You're on the neutral ground with Corey Johnson.
Miguel,
on
always
TV
a
on
pleasure,
Cox
brother.
Channel
See you
4 and
next week.
Spectrum Channel 333. Also on YouTube, on radio at NOLA Talk 93.9 FM, WSLA New Orleans.
Michael Hecht.
It's
Corey
5
Johnson
p.m.
with you. Coming right back.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
It's time to relax. The Woodhouse Day Spa, Metro New Orleans' premier day spa experience, now with 5 area locations. For a day of relaxation or maybe just a quick 1-hour getaway, the Metro area's premier day spa experience is at the Woodhouse Day Spa. And now 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and our newest location in Mandeville, the Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com.
Young's Dry Cleaning has free pickup and delivery. That's right. Young's Dry Cleaning has absolutely free pickup and delivery. Home or office, East Bank or West Bank. Call Young's at 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
Ford F-150, #1 seller in America. What about in the USA? Let's see. What about in the world? Who sells more trucks than Ford? Nobody. It's because the Lamar team is the real team. All that makes it happen is one goal. Everybody having a great experience at Lamar Ford. We became #1 for a reason, because we're good. And we need to prove it every day, every deal, all the time.
Want to stay somewhere special when visiting New Orleans? Look no further than the Grand Victorian. Located in the Garden District on the St. Charles Avenue streetcar line, the Grand Victorian is ideally placed for visiting the city's local attractions, fabulous restaurants, shops, and more. Make your stay in New Orleans something to remember. To find out more about the Grand Victorian or to book, go to gvbb.com. The Grand Victorian.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes on magazine, as unique as you.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
Total maintenance keeps you cool. Total maintenance keeps you cool. Total maintenance keeps you cool. TM-AC.com, your cool spots. Total maintenance keeps you cool. TM-AC.com, your cool spots.
Tired of cleaning your gutters? Improve the value and look of your home with Leaf Guard gutters. And you'll never have to clean your gutters again, ever. I guarantee it. Let Audubon Gutters install Leaf Guard gutters today. You'll improve the look and value of your home. And right now is the perfect time during Audubon Gutters 99-cent installation sale. Call 469-6494 now.
Get out of that gutter and get on the phone. At Audubon Gutters.
Does Helm Paint have the best paint on the planet? Helm, yeah. We only sell Benjamin Moore, the world's finest paint. Because paint ain't paint. Let us steer you right.
Helm Paint.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day. By river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com. Mr. Drew Brees. It is indeed New Orleans, Louisiana, located in the United States of America, Western Hemisphere, planet Earth, Milky Way galaxy, zip code 701. It is a Fantasy Friday edition of the program. Yeah, you right. Let's do it, New Orleans. 5 o'clock power hour on a Fantasy Friday. Doesn't get much better than this. The weekend is upon us again after a super long Mardi Gras weekend. That was a triple dip. Not a 2-day weekend, a 4-day weekend. It was Mardi Gras weekend. Kaboom! Glad to have another weekend. We can rest and recover from last weekend's extended Mardi Gras festivities and fun. I like this very time period, a little bit after 5 p.m. on a Friday. It means 100% of the work week in the books for most of us. 100% of the weekend smack dab in front of you. We celebrate this very moment by blowing the 5 o'clock whistle. Toot, toot. The 5 o'clock whistle, appropriately brought to you by Katie's in Mid-City, Iberville, corner Telemachus. That's basically a few blocks behind
Angelo Bricata's ice cream joint on Carrollton. In between Carrollton and Doc Francis Parkway, in between Canal Street and Bienville, Iberville, corner Telemachus, put it in the GPS, it's Katie's. As New Orleans as it gets, so many places copy the Katie's menu. It is the quintessential New Orleans neighborhood restaurants, big portions, great for sharing. New Orleans specialties. Like I often say, you never know what Scott Craig's going to bring in that day to Katie's. It might be 15 soft shell crabs. When they're gone, they're gone. 14 flounder fillets and their doormat. We're going to stuff them. Speckled trout. I got 15 of those. Soft shell crabs. I got a dozen. You know, when they're gone, they're gone. He does that kind of thing all the time. Like tonight, I guarantee you. Probably a few New Orleans seafood specialties. It's Lent. Scott Craig knows what he's doing. Yaddy New Orleanian, chef, owner, operator. Lots of seafood specialties for Lent at Katie's. On a Friday? Are you kidding? Iberville, corner Telemachus. I know Francesca Deli in Lakeview has a lot of Lenten specials on Friday. Francesca on Harrison in between Canal Boulevard and West End Boulevard, another Scott Craig restaurant. 5 o'clock whistle on a Friday, appropriately brought to you by Katie's in Mid-City. Yes, it is a Fantasy Friday edition of the program. About 74 degrees outside, really nice. Outdoor dining evening, or drop some coals, light up the gas, boil some seafood, fry some catfish or shrimp outside. Get outside, enjoy the backyard. Get outside, enjoy this weather. Outdoor dining. Lots of places now. That's a coronavirus crisis silver lining. 3 things when it comes to restaurants. To-go orders, which many of them didn't do to-go orders, especially the mid to high-end restaurants just refuse to do to-go orders. You have to know someone. So to-go orders. Some of these places with curbside delivery, you pull right up, they walk it right out to your car. And then outdoor dining. Outdoor dining. Like at Clancy's, which really used to not have outdoor dining. I guess Lillette always had outdoor dining. Lebanon's Cafe always had outdoor dining. Bayona had outdoor dining in the courtyard. I mean, there weren't a lot of places. There was a couple of dozen that had outdoor dining. Now it's maybe 50 or 80. And we think it's always been that way. It hadn't always been that way. So enjoy the outdoor dining and enjoy the curbside delivery. Trey Yen walks it right out to your car. Don't even get out the car. Lillette, I think, used to do curbside delivery. I don't know if they do it anymore. They do to-go orders, though. Anyway, no, take advantage of the great weather. Tomorrow, rain expected in the morning and then expected to clear up Sunday. Not sure if we're going to have rain or not. 55 to 70. Monday through Wednesday of next week, 50s and 60s. And then the late end of next week, like Thursday through Saturday, 60s and 70s. That's your weather. I'm Margaret Orr. Back to you. If you missed the 4 o'clock hour, Michael Hecht from Greater New Orleans Inc. joined us. I threw out an idea that is catching momentum. I mean, I'm not patting myself on the back or saying, hey, I'm great. I come up with a lot of ideas. Some of them gain no traction. But when any person, me, you, anyone, comes up with truly a great idea, something that's sort of universally great, a bunch of other people at the exact same time are coming up with that idea. At the exact same time, who can not only be creative, but do the X and O's, the business end of it, organization, get it to life. That's the unique person that wins. I do talk radio and TV, so I'm throwing out things like reimagine Bourbon Street. Let's make Mardi Gras green, that type of stuff. And green because get rid of plastic, which sucks, and get rid of China, which sucks. No imports from China. It's already happening. It's already happening. People are items like Bacchus through socks, things you can use that you want. I saw people, the reason I know Bacchus through socks is people are wearing a Mardi Gras day in the French Quarter, the Bacchus socks, hot item. No, stuff people want. Easy. No, I had another idea, which I think is kind of universally great. I don't know how there's a downside to this. And Michael Hecht's the guy that you float this kind of idea out to. And he talks to some other folks and maybe it catches on. Splitting Mardi Gras into 2 weekends. Not for us. It's already there. For the rest of the world, for tourists. Like Jazz Fest has 2 weekends. Have the 9 days out, the weekend before the big weekend in Mardi Gras. Have that start like on a Thursday where we ramp it up. A lot of Thursday afternoon, Thursday night, Friday afternoon, Friday night parades. And then, of course, the all-day Saturday, all-day Sunday stuff like we would do the weekend before Mardi Gras. Add more parades, condense parades, put them in that Thursday through Sunday weekend before Mardi Gras. So that's Mardi Gras weekend 1. Then the real Mardi Gras, the Friday through Mardi Gras Tuesday, Fat Tuesday, Lundi Gras, all that, that's weekend number 2. And you market them separately. Some people, their calendar is going to work for the first weekend. You're still in Mardi Gras. You may not be there Mardi Gras day. I mean, if someone flies into New Orleans on a Friday and catches, Endymion on Saturday, Bacchus on Sunday, all those Sunday parades, Okeanos, Mid-City, Toth, catch Orpheus on Monday and fly out Monday night. They go back home. They say they didn't go to Mardi Gras because they weren't there on Fat Tuesday, on Mardi Gras Day. I don't think so. Mardi Gras is huge. Make that weekend before even bigger and attract tourists for that weekend besides the Mardi Gras weekend. Let's double dip on this. Let's fill up the hotels, the music clubs, all the restaurants, not for the Thursday or Friday through Mardi Gras Tuesday, but the weekend before as well. 2 different groups, separate groups coming in for 2 different weekends of Mardi Gras, both selling out like Jazz Fest does. Exactly like Jazz Fest does. Hey, the 5 o'clock power hour on this Fantasy Friday, brought to you by the Woodhouse Day Spa. 5 area locations of the Woodhouse Day Spa. Mid-City, New Orleans, Carrollton at Canal Street, on Canal Street at Carrollton, I should say. They're in Metairie near North Kenner, West Esplanade at Transcontinental. They're in Mandeville. They're in Slidell. They're in Baton Rouge. WoodhouseSpas.com. Hey, guys, an unexpected gift. An unexpected gift is a Grand Slam home run. Get her a day of relaxation from the Woodhouse. WoodhouseSpas.com. Corey Johnson with you. Fantasy Friday edition of the program. It's no fantasy. It's crawfish season. We're going to go to the Riverbend, Dante Street. Brigtson's for over 38 years, going in on 4 decades now. Brightson's. Crawfish season. Oh, I can't wait to talk to Frank. Crawfish, egg roll, crawfish and corn soup, crawfish etouffee. I'm thinking Frank's going to be implementing crawfish. I hope La Boca gets that crawfish empanada going soon. I'm going to have to call them and find out. That thing's so damn good. Yeah, if you missed the last hour, you missed Michael Hecht from Greater New Orleans Inc. That segment's always brought to you by Latrim, the global manufacturing giant that just continues to hire. Dozens and dozens and dozens of jobs on their website, Latrim.com. For a full listing of positions available, go to Latrim.com. Latrim spelled L-A-I. T-R-A-M, Latrim.com. Have you been to the new Tracy's on Magazine? There's no better sports bar restaurant in the entire city. Tracy's is inside of a 100-year-old building with literally dozens and dozens of flat-screen TVs, including a 120-inch monster. Tracy's has everything you're looking for in a sports bar, including arguably the best roast beef po' boy in town. When it's time to check out your favorite teams, make it Tracy's on Magazine at Pleasant, in between Washington and Louisiana. Legendary Tracy's in the Garden District.
Greater New Orleans, a destination for learning. With 13 colleges and universities and a booming job market, Greater New Orleans is the ultimate destination for your higher education. Your path to the future begins in Greater New Orleans. Find out more at studynola.com.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day, by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
Francesca Deli and Pizzeria has over 15 specialty sandwiches, a big 10-ounce burger, and some of the best pizza in New Orleans. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview between Canal Boulevard and West End.
Young's Dry Cleaning, with 2 walk-up locations with personal service. Young's on Claiborne and Young's on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview. Young's Dry Cleaning. Call 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
Total maintenance keeps you cool. Total maintenance keeps you cool. Total maintenance keeps you cool. TM-AC.com, your cool spots. Total maintenance keeps you cool. TM-AC.com, your cool spots.
Some people think paint is paint. Well, it ain't. Paint ain't paint. At Helm Paint, we only sell Benjamin Moore because it's the best paint on the planet. In the end, you'll save time, effort, and money because Benjamin Moore paints cover beautifully in less coats. So the next time you pick up a brush, remember, big box, big mistake. Because paint ain't paint. To get the best, you gotta go to Helm. Let us steer you right.
Helm Paint.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, with 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com.
Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
Come experience the best smoothies in the metro area at Smoothie King. Jay and his father have been Smoothie King franchisees for decades on Jefferson Highway across from Oxnard, on Airline Highway at LeBar by Causeway. Smoothie King.
Ladies and gentlemen, in this Lamarck Automotive Complex is something called Quick Lane. Tires, wheel alignments, struts, servicing your transmission. We're doing all makes and models. It doesn't have to have been purchased from us. It's for you. It handles your lifestyle with your budget in mind. And we want to get you in and out as quick as possible. Quick Lane, you got to come see it. You're going to love the experience right there at Williams Boulevard in Kenner.
Wow, what a fantastic evening in New Orleans. Incredible weather. Lent cranking up for the Catholic community. That means lots of seafood for the next 40 days or so. Brigsten knows what they're doing when it comes to seafood, just about any food. Frank Brigsten joins us from his Riverbend restaurant. What up, Frank?
Where you at, KJ? TGIF.
Yep, Friday. Thank goodness. Happy post-Mardi Gras to you.
Yeah, thank you. First Friday in Lent, so here we go. On to the next.
Yep. Two things I'm going to use deductive reasoning on. One, the king cake bread pudding is off the menu, and seafood enhancement hitting the menu.
Gosh, you're smart. I have a special request, Corey.
What's that?
You never let me do this. Can I please talk about crawfish dishes?
Oh, boy. You're getting me excited now.
Yeah, you've been waiting for this. Some new changes on the menu for Lent. Number one, we're giving the filet gumbo with chicken andouille a rest. And beginning last night, we're serving Lenten seafood gumbo, which is an okra gumbo with shrimp and oysters.
Yummy.
No sausage, no meat. In typical Brigsten's fashion, we poach the shrimp and oysters to order. For each cup, each bowl, your seafood is freshly cooked.
Wow.
And then the bread pudding, yeah, we
we given the king cake bread pudding a rest until next year, and we are now serving butterscotch bread pudding, which is oh so good. I had a big taste of that yesterday. And crawfish are making their presence known. They're available. They're delicious. Still a little pricey at $20 a pound, but so good. So we have added, beginning tonight, our crawfish and corn soup, and that's made with a seasoned boiled crawfish stock. So you get the flavor of the backyard crawfish boiled in the soup. That's pretty good. And then on our seafood platter, we made a change too. We're serving a crawfish kala. And really it should be called a crawfish boiled kala because it's a rice fritter. And it's made with sauteed crawfish and rice, of course. But when I cook the rice for this, I add crab boil seasoning to it.
Wow.
So when you bite into this, it tastes like a backyard crawfish boil. I mean, that's one of our greatest social and culinary traditions. And I always try and find ways to get the flavor and feeling of a backyard crawfish boil into the restaurant. And I ate one of these last night, and it is the best thing I've eaten all year.
I think just the way you get those ingredients into these items without the inconvenience, like the barbecue shrimp, where you know, people are like, God, Frank's barbecue shrimp are peeled. It's like, yeah, but he used the heads and the tails to create the, you know, the beginning of it. So that's that flavor, that fat's all in there.
Exactly.
Same thing with that corn and crawfish soup. With the shrimp.
Exactly. I mean, there's definitely a method to my madness. Yep. You know, you might see something in the menu like crawfish kala. Oh, it's a crawfish and rice fritter. Well, there's a lot more to it than that. There's about 18 or 20 ingredients in this recipe.
Nice.
And a very specific method to it. And literally, when you open it up, the steam comes out. It smells like a crawfish boil. So that's served with a little bit of a homemade green onion dressing, like a mayonnaise, and that's on the seafood platter. We don't normally have fried things on there, but this was too good to pass up. Yeah, it's about the size of I guess a large walnut or so, maybe a little bit, like the size of a ping pong ball.
Yeah, nice.
And then also on the seafood platter is grilled drumfish, puppy drum, with a crawfish and pistachio lime sauce. We have crawfish cornbread, baked to order on the seafood platter, with jalapeno smoked corn butter. And then also on the same plate, a baked oyster Larousse and a baked oyster with fennel. So that's a real, that's a Lenten treat. There's no meat anywhere near it. And it's a little bit of everything. I had a fella in last night. He was sitting next to me. I was in the hall. And had been to see us in a while. And he asked the server, all this is on one plate? Well, yeah, it is. And he got that. And he was really just thrilled with it.
Frank Brigtsen's with us from his restaurant, Brigtsen's in the Riverbend. Hey, Frank, what's the crab crust fish and what's the meuniere?
Good question. The broiled fish is sheep's head. The meuniere fish is flounder. And then we have the puppy drum on the seafood platter.
Yeah.
All local fish from the Gulf of Mexico.
Yummy.
And then the grilled redfish with smoked corn sauce and black bean salsa. That's a farm-raised fish from Texas. But all beautiful. Winter's actually a pretty good time for fish. Generally, sheep's head, February and March is peak of their season. That's when we see the most. So I'm very happy to get that. And let's see what else is going on. The pork chop has changed. I had this for dinner last night. Pan roasted pork chop with pork debris sauce, which is like It's fashioned after the original beef debris sauce we served at Commanders and Cape Halls. But it's made with pork, and it's like the richest, darkest pork gravy you ever had.
Wow. That sounds amazing. What's the side with that big pork chop?
Mashed potatoes and veggie saute, green beans, carrots, zucchini, onions, with a little bit of tamari soy sauce and a touch of rice vinegar.
Wow. Hey, Frank, Greedy Boy wants to know if there are any other crawfish dishes coming online in the future as prices come down and availability increases too.
Oh, I'm sure there will. This is our start, and we've got March, April, and most of May. We got 3 more months to go.
Nice. Love hearing that. Love hearing that. So does Greedy Boy. Hey,
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, radio TV guy. Hey, what else is cooking over there? What if you're not interested in Lent? You mentioned the pork chop. You got that filet, right?
Yes, we have a grilled 6-ounce certified Angus beef filet, and that's served with our tasso marchand du vin sauce and garnished with thinly fried sliced shallots. And we're still doing the roast duck à l'orange with a nice orange sauce made with the pan drippings, and serve with a side of dirty rice and sauteed veggies.
Wow.
Yeah.
Any openings tonight or tomorrow night?
I think there's probably a spot for a table or two here and there. Marna's on the phone this evening. Give her a call or call us back tomorrow after 10 a.m.
861-7610. 861-7610 is the phone number over at Brightson's. Something else I wanted to ask you, Frank, about some food. What am I missing? I know what I wanted to mention. The corn and crawfish soup. Not only a great crawfish soup, but one of the best soups you'll eat anywhere, anytime. I experienced it a few years ago as an appetizer. I got a cup, and then I called Frank in the restaurant about 2 days later, got like a quart to go, and brought that home. It's just so damn good.
You can do that. If you want to get a pint or a quart to go, just give us a call, and we'll get it processed and have it ready for your pickup.
It's so incredible, the crawfish and corn soup, just outstanding. And a soup,
unbelievable.
Not a bisque. It's crawfish and corn pieces. You see the corn, you see the crawfish.
Yeah. It's really got a lot of textures, flavors, party going on there.
Yeah, big party going on. 861-7610. 861-7610. Put that number in your phone. That's Brightson's in the Riverbend. Frank, always a pleasure, brother. I'll see you next Friday.
Thank you, Corey. Give us a call for next week, y'all.
861-7610. That's Brightson's in the Riverbend. 861-7610. So damn good. Boy, I mean, I kind of, get same stuff when I go to restaurants, like at Brightson's. I mean, I'll change a little, but most of the time I start with like the barbecue shrimp. I'll get the, tonight it's flounder meuniere. I mean, how do I pass that up? I get pecan pie for dessert, but I usually go with a bunch of people, family, date, friends, whatever. But I've gone by myself too. So that's kind of my staple, that trio right there. Like the barbecue shrimp, which is incredible. The tonight flounder meuniere, incredible. And the pecan pie is incredible, like some of the best versions of these dishes anywhere. When there's like a crawfish and corn soup, and probably coming soon, crawfish spring roll or a crawfish egg roll, just fantastic. And then the crawfish etouffee. Tough to beat Brightson's over there in the Riverbend. Tough to beat Young's Dry Cleaning. Seriously, you tired of your dry cleaner? It's like you're always bummed out about your dry cleaner not doing things right. Switch to the best. YoungsDryCleaning.com, a New Orleans institution since 1940. 85 years of excellence. Been taking care of me for decades. They'll do the same for you. YoungsDryCleaning.com.
Francesca Deli and Pizzeria has over 15 specialty sandwiches, a big 10-ounce burger, and some of the best pizza in New Orleans. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview between Canal Boulevard and West End.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, with 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com.
Have you been to the new Tracy's on Magazine? There's no better sports bar restaurant in the entire city. Tracy's is inside of a 100-year-old building with literally dozens and dozens of flat-screen TVs, including a 120-inch monster. Tracy's has everything you're looking for in a sports bar, including arguably the best roast beef po' boy in town. When it's time to check out your favorite teams, make it Tracy's on Magazine at Pleasant, in between Washington and Louisiana. Legendary Tracy's in the Garden District.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
Tired of cleaning your gutters? Improve the value and look of your home with Leaf Guard gutters. And you'll never have to clean your gutters again. Ever. I guarantee it. Let Audubon Gutters install Leaf Guard gutters today. You'll improve the look and value of your home. And right now is the perfect time during Audubon Gutters' 99-cent installation sale. Call 469-6494 now. Get out of that gutter and get on the phone. Get Audubon Gutters.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes on Magazine, as unique as you.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day, by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
In New Orleans, we don't eat to live, we live to eat.
More is better.
Scott Craig of Katie's.
That is our slogan. More is better at Katie's. It means more of everything. Not just more food, more smiles, more friendship, more love. More. When you do something, you have to do it right. You know, it's all about more, and it's all more of the good things.
Get more at Katie's Restaurant in Mid-City.
Does Helm Paint have the best paint on the planet? Helm, yeah. We only sell Benjamin Moore, the world's finest paint. Because paint ain't paint. Let us steer you right. Helm Paint.
It's time to relax. The Woodhouse Day Spa, Metro New Orleans' premier day spa experience, now with 5 area locations. For a day of relaxation or maybe just a quick 1-hour getaway, the Metro area's premier day spa experience is at the Woodhouse Day Spa. And now 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and our newest location in Mandeville, the Woodhouse Day Spa, WoodhouseSpas.com.
Which Metro New Orleans area restaurant made CNN's top 50 in America and ThrillList.com's top 25 and has served presidents at the White House for over 40 years? Trey Yen in Mandeville.
Come experience the best smoothies in the metro area at Smoothie King. Jay and his father have been Smoothie King franchisees for decades on Jefferson Highway across from Oxnard, on Airline Highway at LeBar by Causeway. Smoothie King.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
Young's Dry Cleaning, with 2 walk-up locations with personal service. Young's on Claiborne and Young's on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview. Young's Dry Cleaning. Call 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
Hey, New Orleans, if you've ever wanted to experience life on St. Charles Avenue, now is your chance. The Grand Victorian, the ultimate bed and breakfast in the Garden District on the streetcar line. Built in 1893, this magnificent house will make your special weekend getaway special. To find out more, go to gvbb.com. That's gvbb.com. The Grand Victorian, where the locals go to get away.
Total maintenance keeps you cool. TM-AC.com. Your cool spot.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
There's a Middle Eastern restaurant that's less than 5 minutes from where Causeway and River Road meet, Lebanon's Cafe. Convenient to Old Metairie and Old Jefferson. Carrollton at Jeanette on the streetcar line, Lebanon's Cafe.
Ladies and gentlemen, in this Lamarck Automotive Complex is something called Quick Lane. Tires, wheel alignments, struts, servicing your transmission. We're doing all makes and models. It doesn't have to have been purchased from us. It's for you. It handles your lifestyle with your budget in mind. And we want to get you in and out as quick as possible. Quick Lane, you got to come see it. You're going to love the experience right there at Williams Boulevard in Kenner.
Yeah, you right. Fantasy Friday edition of the program, 5 o'clock power hour. Corey Johnson back at you. Thanks so much for joining us. It's nice outside. If you gotta go eat somewhere tonight, try to dine somewhere that has outdoor seating because it's nice outside. The weather's fantastic. Might get some rain tomorrow, maybe some on Sunday. We'll see. Pleasant weather pretty much all week long. Hey, Michael Hecht joined us in the 4 o'clock hour. And we were talking about, I just threw this idea out at him. I've talked about it before in the past, splitting Mardi Gras into 2 weekends. You've got the traditional Mardi Gras weekend, the Friday night through Mardi Gras Tuesday, those 4 days. The weekend prior, start maybe on a Thursday with some afternoon parades, night parades. Friday, afternoon parades, night parades. And then load Saturday and Sunday up like the Saturday and Sunday before Mardi Gras. Like the Mid-City, Toth, Okeanos. And load up the weekend before with parades like that all day long. And then really, have 2 separate weekends. So the rest of the world, we already got 2 separate weekends. Let's just enhance the one before the big weekend and sell Mardi Gras, pitch it that way, where you have 2 opportunities to come in, the Thursday through Sunday, and then the Friday through Mardi Gras Tuesday, the next weekend. Double the hotel rooms booked, double the restaurants booked. I mean, eventually, I think that first weekend, it'd catch on right away, and then it would build. Some people are just going to have Mardi Gras falls on a bad date. Can't make it this year. You're opening that up for people. Plus, I just think it's like Jazz Fest. It's such a big event. Let's break it up into 2 weekends like Jazz Fest did. I mean, you got the Thursday through Sunday, 2 weeks in a row at Jazz Fest now. And it's 95% when it's outsiders, visitors, they're catching one weekend only, not both. You might have 5% tops of outsiders, not from here, that stay for both weekends, just the purists. But most folks are coming for one Jazz Fest weekend. Let's add that second weekend to Mardi Gras. No one from outside of New Orleans is going to care if it's Mardi Gras Day or not. They just want to come here and go to parades and festivals and parties and enjoy great restaurants and great music clubs and enjoy the city. Get away from their winter home, wherever they're coming from. So I mentioned this last hour. Someone comes in at, today, like on a Thursday before Mardi Gras. They party in New Orleans on Friday. Saturday, they go to Endymion. Sunday, they go to Bacchus. Monday, they go to Orpheus. And they fly out late Monday night to go back home. Didn't stay for Tuesday, Mardi Gras Day. Did they not participate in Mardi Gras? Were they not part of Mardi Gras? Should they not be able to tell their friends, family, wherever they return home, that they didn't go to Mardi Gras in New Orleans? Of course they went to Mardi Gras in New Orleans. Celebrated the hell out of it. Maybe more than a lot of locals do. Which is irrelevant. I'm just saying that they earned it. They went for Mardi Gras. They just weren't here for Mardi Gras Day. The weekend before should be enhanced and separate Mardi Gras into 2 weekends. And I don't think right away, but I think over time you could double the economic impact. Over time, it would be like Jazz Fest. Might take a decade or so. But I think it would catch on, and I think it would be like Jazz Fest. First, people would be like, it's great going the first week, and there aren't as many people. Easier to get a restaurant reservation, easier to go to the music club, all that. And then it was build. So splitting Mardi Gras into 2 weekends for tourists and just enhancing it for the locals. I mean, we already have 2 weekends of Mardi Gras, essentially. More than that. So locally, we just embrace it. They were open Mardi Gras Day. I actually picked up lunch Mardi Gras Day late in the afternoon after my French Quarter fun, Lebanon's Cafe. They're open 7 days a week. They open up at 11 a.m. every weekday morning, every week, every day. Not weekday, weekend, weekday or weekend morning, 11 a.m. And they go till 9:30 every night. 9:30, like 8:30, 8:45. You're like, damn, haven't eaten. You can go to Lebanon's Cafe, roll in there at 9 p.m. No problem. They'll seat you in the restaurant. Or tonight, with this weather, dine outside at Lebanon's Cafe. Lamb chop, shish kebab, all your favorite Middle Eastern sides. Some of the finest Middle Eastern food in Metro New Orleans. Carrollton at Jeanette by the streetcar barn. Make it Lebanon's Cafe. They're open right now. Yeah, and did I mention outdoor dining because of this insanely nice weather? 75. Really nice weather out there. Hey, besides Michael Hecht joining us in the 4 o'clock hour, where an array of topics, a bunch of topics. The next punch list over the next 34 days before French Quarter Fest, Jazz Fest, Zurich Classic, and French Quarter Fest, Zurich Classic, and 2 weekends of Jazz Fest. That begins in 34 days with French Quarter Fest. We discuss UNO, the competing Plaquemine Port, $2 billion in city street work that's trying to get done ASAP, splitting Mardi Gras into 2 weekends, all that. Also visited with Fletcher Mackle, who I always, I bust on Jefferson Mardi Gras. He gets assigned to that every year. This year they canceled it, so he got to go to New Orleans. So then he informed me, no, I'm taking Margaret Orr's spot in New Orleans, so I don't have to go to Jefferson anymore. And I dog Jefferson Mardi Gras, not Fletch, and I was kidding. Just razzing our folks next door in Jefferson. Anyway, Fletch said he was assigned to Harmony Circle, the old Lee Circle. Harmony Circle is the lamest name. It's just terrible. I'm not embracing that. It's not official. It's not legal. Just somebody with the city said, let's call it that. It's sort of been pseudo embraced. There's Harmony Street about 1.5 miles down the road. I mean, Harmony Circle's silly. I get it has nothing to do with the street. It's about harmony. Everybody coming together as one, a gumbo. The circle was originally known as Tivoli Circle, Tivoli, Tivoli Circle. That legally never changed. Tivoli Circle sat there for decades. And then in the late 1880s, some locals erected a Robert E. Lee statue at Tivoli Circle. And because the statue is there, folks started calling it Lee Circle. But legally, to this day, it's Tivoli Circle. So let's just go with that instead of Harmony Circle, because Harmony Circle is terrible. And Tivoli Circle's classy, you know, little European flair and the legal name of the circle. So yeah, 86 Robert E. Lee. I got no problem with that, but the Harmony thing's lame. Tivoli Circle's cool. Hey, after I get out of here, I'm heading to Smoothie King. My Smoothie King, Jefferson Highway across from Ochsner. Or I should say Jay and his dad's Smoothie King. They own that location, and the old Metairie Smoothie King airline at LeBar by Causeway. Experience the best. Smoothie King Airline, Smoothie King, Jefferson Highway.
Come experience the best smoothies in the
Right
metro
there.
area at Smoothie King. Jay and his father have been Smoothie King franchisees for decades on Jefferson Highway across from Ochsner, on Airline Highway at LeBar by Causeway. Smoothie King.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, with 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com.
Young's Dry Cleaning, with 2 walk-up locations with personal service. Young's on Claiborne and Young's on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview. Young's Dry Cleaning. Call 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
Tired of cleaning your gutters? Improve the value and look of your home with Leaf Guard gutters. And you'll never have to clean your gutters again, ever. I guarantee it. Let Audubon Gutters install Leaf Guard gutters today. You'll improve the look and value of your home. And right now is the perfect time during Audubon Gutters 99-cent installation sale. Call 469-6494 now. Get out of that gutter and get on the phone. At Audubon Gutters.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Francesca Deli and Pizzeria has over 15 specialty sandwiches, a big 10-ounce burger, and some of the best pizza in New Orleans. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview between Canal Boulevard and West End.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
Ford F-150, #1 seller in America. What about in the USA? Let's see. What about in the world? Who sells more trucks than Ford? Nobody. It's because the Lamar team is the real team. All that makes it happen is one goal. Everybody having a great experience at Lamar Ford. We became #1 for a reason, because we're good. And we need to prove it every day, every deal, all the time.
When USA Today ranked the 10 best must-visit New Orleans restaurants for travelers, Mid-City's own Katie's made the list. USA Today says Scott Craig is chef-owner at Katie's, a much-loved Creole Italian eatery that draws armies of regulars for lunch, brunch, and dinner. A neighborhood spot where locals congregate and New Orleans-style hospitality rules. Indeed it does. Katie's in Mid-City.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
Some people think paint is paint. Well, it ain't. Paint ain't paint. At Helm Paint, we only sell Benjamin Moore because it's the best paint on the planet. In the end, you'll save time, effort, and money because Benjamin Moore paints cover beautifully in less coats. So the next time you pick up a brush, remember, big box, big mistake. Because paint ain't paint. To get the best, you gotta go to Helm. Let us steer you right. Helm Paint.
Have you been to the new Tracy's on Magazine? There's no better sports bar restaurant in the entire city. Tracy's is inside of a 100-year-old building with literally dozens and dozens of flat-screen TVs, including a 120-inch monster. Tracy's has everything you're looking for in a sports bar, including arguably the best roast beef po' boy in town. When it's time to check out your favorite teams, make it Tracy's on Magazine at Pleasant, in between Washington and Louisiana. Legendary Tracy's in the Garden District.
Want to stay somewhere special when visiting New Orleans? Look no further than the Grand Victorian. Located in the Garden District on the St. Charles Avenue streetcar line, the Grand Victorian is ideally placed for visiting the city's local attractions, fabulous restaurants, shops, and more. Make your stay in New Orleans something to remember. To find out more about the Grand Victorian or to book, go to gvbb.com. The Grand Victorian.
Outdoor dining, Middle Eastern cuisine, under the oak trees, Lebanon's Cafe, some of the city's finest lamb chops and shish kebab, Carrollton at Jeanette by the streetcar barn, Lebanon's Cafe.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes on Magazine, as unique as you.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day, by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com. Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen. I'm like everybody else in the metro area in Louisiana, southern Mississippi. We love to eat. We love great food. We really do. I posted on my Twitter, X, at Corey Johnson, a photo and 2 videos from the other day. I went to lunch. I went across the lake, not to Trey Yen in Mandeville, but to Gallagher's 527 across the street. And the gumbo is incredible. This crab meat St. Francis, this LaRuth dish, and this little ramekin piping hot, full of jumbo lump crab meat, incredible. And the shish kebab, I had to post the video because it's sizzling in butter. The sound was incredible. Gallagher's 527. Now, this isn't a commercial, just telling you about a great place. I discovered this like less than a year ago. A buddy of mine, Mark, who I play golf with like once a week, he sent me a photo like 9 months ago. These 4 beautiful lamb chops, double cut lamb chops, 4 of them, sizzling in this oval plate of butter. Just the photo, no video, no sound. I was like, damn, that looks good. Where is that? And he's like, Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville. I'm like, man, I've heard of this place. I need to check it out. And then one time we went and played golf on the North Shore. And afterwards, Mark and I, my brother, another guy, our foursome, we went to Gallagher's and it was incredible. Sat at the bar. I've been probably at least a half dozen times, 8 times in the last 6 months or so. It's just incredible. Everything on the menu is good. And it's Pat Gallagher knows what he's doing. It's real Louisiana. No, we're blessed, man.
We really are. The North Shore must have, by itself, I mean, as many really great restaurants as some major cities in America. Like, seriously. I guarantee you the North Shore has as many high-quality restaurants as, like, Cleveland, Pittsburgh. The North Shore has about 15 high-end, kick-ass restaurants. And they probably have, like, another 15 or 20 that are high, mid, low range as far as price and all that are fantastic. No, a lot of great places to eat on the North Shore. I would venture to say, I think you've got about almost 400,000 folks in Jefferson Parish, about 250,000 in St. Tammany. St. Tammany, I think overall, generally speaking, has better restaurants than Jefferson Parish over there in St. Tammany. Metairy's got a bunch of good restaurants. Metairie now has about 10 or 12 high-end restaurants and another 10 or 12 that are mid, high, low that are fantastic. No, we're blessed. And then New Orleans, because we're a tourist destination, convention city, we punch way above our weight. Instead of like matching Metairie or St. Tammany, we must have north of 100. North of 100 high-end restaurants that just kick butt. How about this? I can safely say dozens and dozens and dozens of high-end restaurants that kick butt. Too many to name. Clancy's, Patois, Le Petit Grocery, Bayona, Brightson's, Irene's. Go on and on and on. Just so many good restaurants. Gautreau's, Gabrielle, Lillette. I'm missing too many. I'm missing way too many. The Italian Barrel is great Italian in the French Quarter. I can go on and on. Just so many great places to get really good food in Metro New Orleans. Fantastic. No, and Gallagher's 527. I had to post the videos. The gumbo, I'm just like stirring the gumbo. It's just chock full of seafood. And that shish kebab sizzling in the butter. And there was Marshall Tucker on in the background. I think I mentioned that earlier in the week. I was like, it's a pretty good combo. I'm going to post that video. Anyway, hey, we got some parades making up this weekend. Crescent City, Elks, the truck parades in New Orleans are going to roll on Sunday. And Argus in Metairie is going to roll in a few weeks. Part of St. Patrick's Day. That's great stuff. Sunday, March 16th on Metairie Road, the St. Patrick's Day Parade, followed by Argus. Yeah, you right. That's Blue Boy barking up a storm saying have a great weekend. Post Mardi Gras weekend rest, recuperation. See you Monday at 4 o'clock, New Orleans.
You're on the neutral ground with Corey Johnson on TV on Cox Channel 4 and Spectrum Channel 333. Also on YouTube, on radio at NOLA Talk 93.9 FM, WSLA New Orleans.
It's 6 p.m.